Oh.
Hello, and welcome to 6 Degrees of Feature Film. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies.
And I am Stacey Howard.
It,
Today is a special day.
it's a special day, and
Yeah.
you know what? I don't have my headphones on, so I have
Oh,
no idea
we don't
how
know
we
if the
sound.
sound is good. You can tell us.
I kind of don't want to wear my headphones,
Don't wear them.
but okay, so that means that you're gonna have to
You have to tell us.
you're gonna have to tell us how we sound because I don't have my headphones on. So if it goes crazy and you're in the chat, let me know so I can fix it.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
So here's how the show goes. It's our final show. So we're doing things differently. Normally we take one film and show how six other films link up to it in some random way, shape, or form. But since it's the
Today.
final one, we're just gonna go with a theme and link up some movies that kind of work with that theme. And
Yeah.
our theme is our favorite endings or endings that are memorable.
These are the days.
Is that
I'd like to
Natalie?
thank you forever. Na 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 na.
Natalie something?
Who knows?
Natalie, I don't know.
I think
I
so.
can't
I just know that that's
I know her
like
name's Natalie.
kind of a final finale song. And
That
I
is a
love
good
that.
finale song.
Okay.
That song was on I had maybe on this
The Office?
channel. I had it on this channel or on my other YouTube channel, which is just my name. And I put up a USC Song Girl like documentary thing, and that song ends it.
I
But
bet.
they wouldn't let me use that song, so they took the song off of it. So it's
Oh.
silent.
Oh, that's
And
weird.
so now I'm like, it would be nice if I could get someone to put like a song on there, so at least
Yeah.
it ends it. But
Yeah.
yeah, YouTube was like, nope.
I hate
This
YouTube
song.
sometimes. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's new with you?
Oh my gosh. Nothing new, but continuing the saga of juggling multiple things.
Yes,
Which is
juggling
a
multiple
good
things.
thing, a stressful thing, but a good thing. I got to go to something fun last night,
Yes,
though.
tell us about it.
As we have branched out and become more popular on the YouTube verse intranets,
Yes.
opportunities have come our way. So last night I got to go to the premiere of a movie. It was called Best Friends, or is it Best Fiends?
Yes.
Because ours, in parentheses, it's Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero's next film. So it's their follow up to The Room, which is huge. And I got to see a Q&A with them and Paul Scheer before the movie, which was unusual. So they did that. Tommy was
They're like,
crazy.
now we're out of here. Bye.
Yeah, now we're out of here. Bye.
We don't want to answer your
Tommy
questions
was
about the
insane.
film.
They were supposed to introduce some band that did a music video and like for before the movie, and Tommy kept thinking that the ushers were like the band. So they were like, "Come here, this amazing band. Come here, come here." And they're like, "We're not no, we're just here to take tickets." And they were just like random people that were standing to the side. It was great. It was a lot of fun. The movie was hilarious and very enjoyable, and very much The Room-esque. So if you're a fan of that, it was amazing. See it. Best Friends.
Best Friends.
The Stardust
Slash
people invited
Fiends.
me. Slash Fiends.
Oh, Stardust. They just followed me on Twitter, and I was like, do I follow back? Should I follow back?
I think you should follow back.
Okay.
They're good
Okay.
people. I
Okay.
mean, they invited me. They had me there. So that means
Yeah.
they're good peeps.
All right, good.
Okay.
I'm glad they're good peeps.
Yeah.
I do want to say what's up to everyone that's in the chat.
Hey,
we
hey,
do see you.
hey.
I did see Ben Bellevue is in the chat. He's not here today.
Where
It's really
I didn't
sad.
even
It's our final
notice,
show, and he was like,
so
"Sorry, I'm gonna leave for Easter."
I
so,
didn't even
so
notice that he wasn't here.
yeah.
So.
But so we miss him.
Do
We're
we?
hoping that he'll help us with our next project. So after this hiatus, we have something that we might be working on together again. It won't be 6 degrees, but it'll be something different, and we're hoping Ben will help us. We'll see.
This is the final show of this show, but is it the end of our friendship and
It's
our
not the end of
collaboration?
that.
Never.
No.
We will continue to do stuff for you guys and stuff together because that's what
We're
we do.
connected for life.
Connected
And
for
now we're
life
giving each other
in
lice.
the brain.
That's how it happens.
Did I
This
get
is how it
fucking
happens.
lice from your kids, Brienne?
Maybe.
Okay.
I cannot confirm
I
nor
knew it.
deny.
knew
So hello, Ben. Hello, Neil, Elise, Randall, Amstel54. I saw Janine is also
Janine,
there.
what's up, girl?
There's someone that was watching for the first time. Jonathan Peck, May Ank. All my favorites are here, so that's exciting. Not the people that watch later aren't my favorites also, but I also have all my favorites here. Ben McElroy is actually able to make it today.
Benny Boo. Today's gonna be a fun
Neil,
show.
thanks Neil
We're
for
gonna have a good
joining
time.
us.
Neil.
Yeah, it's
Neil
gonna be a
Barma.
fun show. We're gonna talk about and Eric. I forgot about Eric.
Eric!
Sorry, Eric. I love you.
Eric!
Okay,
Okay.
we're gonna be
Yeah,
talking
let me do
about
my list.
endings. Here's the thing. Did you see Thoroughbreds? We're not. I'm gonna
Uh,
try. I'm not gonna spoil Thoroughbreds, by the
I
way.
did not get a
Okay.
chance to see Thoroughbreds, but
Okay.
please tell us why we should see this
Okay.
movie.
Here's why you should see Thoroughbreds. First of all, runtime excellent, excellent
Oh,
runtime. It's like 136 or
nice.
something like
Tight
that. Hey, Laura.
136.
Hey.
Hey.
Um, so tight runtime. And it's kind of I feel like it's Hitchcockian in a way. Like this is kind of the next I feel like Corey Finley could be the next Hitchcock. Rai Terrify. That's the new
Bold.
person. Thank
Bold
you for joining us,
statement.
Rai.
What's up, Rai?
Yeah, I this type of film and how he did it, how he shot it, very great cinematography. I was impressed. I'm impressed with Corey and his first time
Oh,
out the gate,
so this
just
is
like
his
a horse
first
is
movie?
out the gate. This is his first directorial debut. He also wrote the film.
Oh.
Um, I only have one thing that I felt could have made it better. And I'm not a filmmaker, and so I wasn't on set. I don't know this person. I can't be like, you know what? What if we just did this? You
Mhm.
know? And it's not a spoiler of the ending, but I just wish it ended maybe a few minutes earlier. That's all I'm gonna say. Like maybe 2 or 3 minutes earlier. If it ended at this one part, I would have been like, in my head, I said, boom, credits. And then it didn't happen. And I was like, oh, okay. And then
Now, if
I was
if
like,
they included those other 2, 3 minutes, do you like, would it have changed the plot? Like, does it change what happens, or it's just revealing extra information, or, like, what would change it?
I don't think it changes really anything at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I mean, maybe, but not, no.
Okay.
But no.
Okay. Okay, Brian.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just felt it was something that is interesting, something different, because I
Mm.
feel like these characters are very void of any emotion. So it's interesting watching that play out on screen and how they interact together because they both are very, it's almost like they're a shell of a human being.
Okay.
It's interesting, though. Interesting.
I feel like this is very much my cup of tea because
Hmm.
I love disturbing, dark, weird movies.
Yes, I do.
And I love the actors that are in this. This is Anton Yelkin's last film,
It
right?
is.
Oh, sad times. He was a great actor. So I'm excited to see him in this
Mhm.
and hopefully have him have, a great performance and a great send off. So
Yeah, I thought
yeah.
it was a great performance
Okay.
from him.
Cool.
Not as big as I would have liked,
Hmm.
but substantial. Want to say hey to Andrew as well as Star Drew because they're both here
You're a
today
motherfucking
now.
star boy. Da, 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 da.
So yeah, that's all I really got to say about Thoroughbreds because I it was in my local theater, which is an ArcLight, and
Mhm.
I thought I was gonna go see a movie, and there were a few choices that I could have done, and I was like, feel like I have to see Thoroughbreds because it's been at least over a week now that it's been out at my local theater, and I feel like it's not gonna be much longer. And
Mhm.
it's good that I did because right after that it left, and I
Oh,
was like,
don't you hate
yes,
that?
I got it in. I got it in,
Don't you hate
guys.
that?
I do
Oh,
hate that. I do hate that, but that's just what happens.
okay.
Do you have a film that you would like to talk about that has a good ending, a memorable ending, an ending that you wish was different?
I have definitely films to
Okay.
talk about. This one's gonna be a classic film. I feel like it's been an ending to a movie that has been talked about, parodied, referenced. It's now a part of pop culture, especially the song that is in the ending.
Oh,
Everyone give a big fist pump for The Breakfast
Breakfast
Club.
Club.
We gotta talk about that. Number one, the ending is made by the song. Don't, no, no, no. Everyone's like, "Oh,
Forget
fuck
about
yeah, this is
me.
the Breakfast Club. It's the ending, yeah." That great voiceover monologue that they have going on.
Mhm.
It kind of it kind of encapsulates the whole feeling of the movie, which is like everyone has opposite personalities and different strengths and weaknesses and everything,
They
but
do.
in the end, you can all connect and come together about something.
You can all
So it's
connect.
just that fist pump, riotous teenage I don't want to be here anymore, but I do want to succeed here. Also, feeling. So yeah,
I
that
feel
was a
like
great
that should
moment.
be our thumbnail.
Yeah, I
So
said
we'll
la
do that
la
later.
la la
We'll do that
la.
later.
Okay, we'll take a nice photo later.
I do like that ending to the Breakfast Club. I feel like it kind of ties it into a bow. I mean, everyone seems to leave
Yeah,
there happier than they
nice little
started,
bow.
and so that's kind of nice. But also they still have their own problems that they have to go back to, but they
Yeah.
feel like maybe they can help
handle a bit
overcome
more.
those.
Yeah. Yeah. I also love that, what's her name? Allison Sheedy?
Allie? I
Allie?
think they just call her
Allie
Allie. I
Sheedy?
mean, I'm sure it's Allison though.
That she just rips the patch off his Letterman jacket. That patch was sewn on. She couldn't have just ripped it off. It's not
No
like it was taped.
patches. You can't, yeah.
Yeah,
Patches are
no.
hard to get off.
Patches
Those
are like
type too.
straight up sewn
Mhm.
on. It cost me
What do you
like
think,
$10 for each
Carlos?
one.
Would someone be able to rip
No,
that off?
no. She had to have been like the Hulk strength to be like, oh, whoop.
Now, the patches I put on for my cosplay as Beatrix Kiddo in the yellow, now
Oh.
those could be easily ripped off because I didn't have like a strong, you have to have a special like sewing machine to get those types of patches on.
Yeah.
There's no way that I could have done that. So I did some basic stitches.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
I feel like I just
how
would
it
want to
went.
stick them on maybe.
That would have been easier, but they didn't really have any sticking, and I'd have to get like
That's tough.
fabric glue. And then I did do, actually, that's what I did do. I sewed and I did fabric glue. So that way it would kind of
Oh,
stay best
got
it
it.
could. It
Got
only
it.
needed to stay for a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
that's true. It's a moment in time that we
It is
have
a moment in
recorded
time.
now, and then fades into oblivion. What is
That's
your
right.
what's your next movie that you love the ending? Want to talk about the ending? Wish
Okay.
the ending were different?
I want to talk about The Usual Suspects.
That's on my
Also
list,
well
too.
known in popular culture. Also came at a time that I think was so appropriate because in the 90s, in the latest 90s, we didn't have the internet like we have today. The internet was around, but it wasn't a place where you got your news. It wasn't where you found out information about movies as much. Now it is. And so you couldn't probably get away from, oh my gosh, have you guys seen the Usual Suspect, the ending? Oh my gosh. So you kind of expect something's going to happen at this ending that I'm not, that, even if you haven't seen the film, you might hear about. Not necessarily what it is, but you might hear, oh, it has a great ending. Whereas before, I saw this on probably VHS. I doubt it was DVD for my parents at the time, but I remember watching it with my mom and my sister, knowing nothing about it, and then being blown away by what happened at the end and the reveals that happened, and just being like, oh my gosh.
The shots of just feet, just someone walking, and how it changes everything that you thought was brilliant directing. Just great storytelling of, let's just have this one little reveal, but it makes you feel, you're just like, oh, that's what I miss sometimes in movies, because it's so hard to get that moment now. As you said, everyone shares it. It can be spoiled a million different ways. So it's like almost a moment that I want to protect. It's like precious. Like, that's a very rare thing you can do now, because everyone fucking talks about it and spoils
Right.
it and reveals it.
The same with The Sixth Sense,
Yes,
which was
that's
also on my list
Yes.
because it also came out, I think, like the year later. You know what? If I were to guess, and I did not look this up, I would say that Usual Suspects came out in like 98, and then
I think
Sixth Sense 99. Is that right?
Sixth
Someone
Sense
let
was
us know.
90. I thought it was like 96.
Mm.
No, I don't know.
Let us
Ben's
know,
not
please.
here.
Well, he's in the chat.
Oh,
Maybe he
okay.
can look it up for us. Ben, let us know when it came out.
Okay.
Um,
I love that we're united in yelling at Ben.
We are.
Those two movies were on my list as well, and The Sixth Sense fucked me up.
95 is Usual Suspects. Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Okay. 90. Okay, so it
And
was
now
like
we're on
4
hold.
years before.
Now we're on hold for
Okay.
Although 99 is what I'm seeing, which I'm thinking
I think it was
is
99.
correct. Okay.
The year,
But anyways,
best year for film.
Again, Sixth Sense is 99, Usual Suspects 95. So mid-late 90s was probably the last time you could really like hold off on knowing, oh, something's going to happen at the end of this movie that you're not going to be ready for. And now it's kind of like, that before you even have seen the trailer sometimes. It's like, we know there's going to be something big. I don't know. People reveal too much about movies nowadays.
They do.
Or
Even
they speculate so much before it even comes out that you are thinking of all the different possibilities of which way this movie could go.
I just want, and this is not possible, but I want a filmmaker to make a film Nobody knows a thing about it. Like, not even the studio
Mhm.
really. And there's no trailer, there's no nothing. And then they just release a video on Twitter and it's like, "Hey, by the way, my new film comes out tomorrow. Go
Yeah.
see it." And
Isn't that
that's
kinda
it.
like Cloverfield or Lane?
Yeah, but
Which
I
I
want it
feel
to be
like
a good
because it was
movie.
called Cloverfield Lane, if they just had a different, name, I feel like that would have been a big impact and big reveal if you kinda, like, saw maybe this a street sign that said Cloverfield Lane or something
Mhm.
like that
Mhm.
later. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then marketing would never have gone for that. They
I
would have been like,
know.
"No, we
That's
gotta
the
have."
problem. Cloverfield Paradox, as Neil says, did that. Yes, but it also
I heard
didn't
it wasn't good.
release in a wide
Yeah.
distribution.
I want it to be, like, in theaters, be like, "Surprise, go see it," and you're like, "Oh, shit, we gotta go."
What?
What?
What just happened?
Yeah, I really want that.
Mhm.
It's a dumb dream, but it's a dream that I have.
Also wanna say hey to the real Mr. Robinson.
Hey!
Yeah, so hey
Mhm.
to you. There was someone else that also arrived in the chat, and I did not get a chance to say hello to them, and I can't remember who it was, and I apologize.
It's okay. Everyone just say your name again, and then
Once
we'll call you
again,
out.
everyone throw in a comment
Everyone,
so
raise
we
your
know.
hand. We're calling roll, you guys. We got the teachers here today.
Mhm,
Okay, so my next one I would want to talk about would be, and this is just because the ending touched my heart, and that's such a sweet ending. Pride and Prejudice,
mm.
2004 version, with Keira Knightley. I love so there's basically like two endings to this.
Okay.
The first one is when he is
Yes,
walking down
tell
the
me
hill.
because I can't remember at all.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Sorry.
He's walking down the hill. It's sunrise. So
Mhm.
she's been up all night. She's been thinking about their friendship,
Mm.
relationship, what have you. Is it ruined? Is it too late? His aunt hates me. What's going
Yeah.
on? So then he's walking and the music is like slowly building and then it's just this sweeping epic make your heart soar. Love is beautiful
Love
and
is
they come
beautiful.
together.
Right, Carlos? Love is beautiful.
Love is love. And they have this beautiful moment and they don't kiss, they just touch foreheads like this
And look down?
and look down.
Okay.
They just have a moment. They don't have
And
this
that's
like
like on
big
the
beautiful
cover,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So and it's lit gorgeously, a beautiful, beautiful score and amazing acting moments between them. And
Mhm.
then after that, they have a little moment where they're already married and they just have a little conversation about what should you call me when you're happy or sad or whatever, like what pet names. And it's just a sweet little ending to the movie. So
Aw.
it was one of those movies that I hadn't seen before, but I was sick. I was at home sick from school and I was just watching movies all day, as you do, and it happened to be on like HBO or something, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch this. I like Keira Knightley," and I was completely blown away, and it has become one of my favorite films. So I was happy to discover it. I think it's beautiful, and it's period pieces. Damn it, I love them. It's my favorite genre. Is a good period piece.
Period pieces are something that I also appreciate and need to watch more of
Yeah,
because, like, I'll see them and then I will be like, "I enjoyed that," and then I'll just move on to something else, but they don't come around that often, so that's
yeah.
probably I don't know.
We
They
should
don't
make a
come around a
period
lot.
piece.
Should we?
Yeah,
Is that our next project?
absolutely. Please, let's make
It's
a
a
period.
modern period piece.
It's a
So we're
modern
in all
period
these period piece
set
costumes,
in
but yes,
2011.
kind of like The Handmaid's Tale,
Yeah.
only with Puritanesque
Yes.
outfits.
Yes.
I guess theirs are kind of
Let's just
Puritan.
remake The Crucible. That'd be great. Mhm. Okay. What's your next,
All right,
film?
another one that I wanted to talk about is Prisoners.
Ooh,
Now, I'm not going to spoil Prisoners because I feel like this is a movie that not everyone has seen.
and they
And
should.
they definitely should. Denis Villeneuve did this movie. It is beautiful, and the acting is probably next level and intense in a way that I wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for how intense every single actor would be in this film because every single one of them sells it to a level that I feel like everyone is at their best in this.
Absolutely. I love that Paul Dano,
Dano.
is in this and has a very, very subtle performance
Mhm.
that he's one of those like side characters in movies where you're like, yes, that works. You're weird. I don't know why it's working, but it fucking works. And it's
Yeah.
great. Mhm.
And just the ending, which again, not going to spoil because I want you to see it, but
So
you have
suspenseful.
this part where you're just like, there's a few different sections where you're like,
I was
what?
literally, me and my girlfriend was seeing it like, ah! We were freaking out. We were so just like our entire body was like tightly fisted and wound up. And then we were like,
Yeah, you
the whole
relax
theater
for
was
a
like
moment.
that.
You
The whole
relax for
theater,
a
like,
moment, but you also have this feeling of like, oh, no. Like, no.
huh, but
What?
maybe. Oh, yeah.
So many
A
emotions.
lot of feelings.
That's kind of how what you're going to go through when you watch it.
Mhm.
So, that's all. I hope that we didn't technically spoil any plot points for you, but maybe we spoiled some emotion for you. And for that, I'm sorry, but not really. Sorry, because you're going to
Watch
love
it.
it.
Watch it. I do want to talk about, well, not talk about, but if you haven't seen Prisoners, you need to watch that, and you also
Mhm.
need to watch Enemy
Enemy.
and
Whoa, that
Sicario.
ending. First of all,
Okay,
wait a second.
that freaked. That I've never been more at the end of a
Because you're like,
movie.
what the?
What the fuck? It was great. I loved the ending of Enemy. It made no sense, but but it did make sense
It
after I
did and
thought
it
about it.
didn't. Yeah, you
Yeah.
really you got to think about it. You
Chris
have to
Stuckman
think.
does a great analysis of Enemy,
Mhm.
and I really liked
Yes, he
watching it. So I
breaks
was
it
like,
down.
"Oh, okay."
Although I will say, like, watch Enemy and gather your own thoughts about Enemy before you watch his thing, because I feel like everything that I thought about the movie is what he expressed. And I'm glad that I got to think about it myself first
Mhm,
before I listened to someone's opinion on it.
mhm,
So I feel like watch it,
mhm,
gather your own thoughts for however long you need to do that, and
mhm.
then watch his and then see like, oh,
Yeah.
do his thoughts line up with mine? Maybe they do.
Mhm,
And I felt like they lined up pretty in sync with what I thought about the film as well. So I was
mhm,
like, "Oh, good. I'm glad someone else was on the same page as I am in deconstructing this movie."
mhm. Yeah.
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 Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
worth it. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
long. It's like 20-minute analysis.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not like a little video where you're like, "Oh, it's a 2-minute thing on Twitter that
Mhm.
explains everything." Take some time. Take some time to watch it. It's really good.
Digest it.
Digest it.
Digest it.
It's quite serious,
It is quite
but it's a
serious.
good analysis.
What else you got?
Okay, what I got, hon? What I got? Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
movie
Okay.
that is obviously 77. It's a little older.
Yeah, it is older.
I had never seen it before, and I finally saw it with Rachel Cushing at the Dome at ArcLight
Oh, it's the first time you saw it.
the first time I
Nice.
saw it. And the ending, and I think we've talked about the movie on this show, and I've talked about the ending, went on a rant about it, but
Mhm.
oh man, that ending, that really got me thinking. I spent like an hour with Rachel talking about everything that ending could unpack,
Mhm.
because it's got, I don't know, it's very like famously talked about, I guess, but I feel like it didn't end the way I wanted it to in terms of how Richard Dreyfuss's character handles
I did
everything.
not like him.
I was like,
And
because
you kind of want to like him because
yeah,
you do at the beginning. By the end, I was like, "You are not a good person.
yeah, no, that's why I,
Get out, Richard Dreyfuss."
because everything he goes through, I understand. Like he's had this close encounter,
Uh-huh.
and it changes his mind, and he can't go back. He can't unsee. He can't
Mhm.
unknow everything he knows now. And I get that, and I loved all of that. But then when he and the other woman kiss, I was like, no, 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 stop it. That's not what this
Yeah.
relationship was
Was
about.
that
Because
Terry Garr?
yeah, no,
Or
that's
Terry
the
Garr was
wife.
his wife.
Yeah,
Yes.
Terry
Okay.
Garr, which I've been told I remind everyone of a young Terry Garr, so I don't mind that
Oh,
at
oh,
all.
okay.
I
Okay.
don't mind that at all. But that really upset me because I was like, that's not what their relationship was.
Yes, it wasn't.
They had a connection because they've been through this awesome, horrible, terrifying, amazing experience together, and
Mhm.
you can't go back. You
It
can't
felt
unsee. It
forced.
felt forced. I was like, it wasn't romantic or sexual. Why are they kissing? And then he just like
Mhm.
fucking leaves his family. Like he doesn't care that he has a wife and kids.
Mhm.
And I get that's fine because again, it's like you can't be a dad or a husband anymore if you know that aliens exist and are out there and are on our planet and we've been sending people. What? I get that, but the kiss
Yeah.
really, really ruined it for me. So I loved everything
I'm
else,
on
but it
board with that.
changed
I'm
me.
on board with that. I
Yeah.
also saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind relatively recently too, probably a year before you did.
Mm.
So I had similar thoughts on that exact part. I just
Okay.
thought, why is this in there?
Yeah.
It's not necessary. especially because they're going on this journey of, like you said, we've encountered this together, separately but together,
Mhm.
in a shared experience, and then here we are now.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Where did all the big ending take place? Here's a trivia question.
In the desert.
It's called Devil's Tower. So
Devil's Tower.
let's
dang
remember
it.
that. Let's bring that into our thought process in case it ever comes up for us.
Okay.
Devil's Tower
Devil's
is where
Tower.
the big scene takes place.
Devil's Tower. Yes.
Mhm.
That's the little mound thing.
That is the little mound out of mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move it on. I've talked about this movie before. I've talked about how I would love it to be a different ending, and I've said it many times, but I'm going to say it again
Okay.
because this is our last show. I love It Follows. I do. I found that it's a very great horror film.
Mhm.
But I just wanted one additional thing to happen at the very end.
Which is what?
Which is at the very end, I just wanted a car to pull up next to them. And I wanted that car to be the car that they drive in Supernatural. Just to be kind of like a nod to those people that watch Supernatural,
Mhm.
and to be a sign that, hey, someone's here now to kick this ass.
Yeah.
Like, we are here
To kick this
Like-
terrible sex ghost demon thing.
That's right. We're gonna take care of it. We've got you. I feel like it would be an amazing crossover, and I feel like it just it was there. It was available for that,
They didn't take advantage
and I
of it.
wish it would have happened. In fact, if they did a follow-up, following It Follows,
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like you could actually open with the end scene and have that happen as like the first part, and then it's a supernatural movie.
Yeah.
It's like we now have
That'd be
crossed over
amazing.
with the show Supernatural,
Yeah.
and now we're gonna do this.
It's a very niche and
It's not gonna happen, but
It
it would
won't
be
happen.
amazing if it did. And
it's just for you.
I would be like, yes, this is the best thing that's ever happened. It
STD
is.
Ghost. It is, Neil. It is. Yes. I loved that movie so much. I loved that it was a non-time specific, non-location specific.
Yeah, with that shell compact.
The shell
that was
compact.
like-
What was that? She's reading a book, I think. I love that. It was so odd.
Yeah, we're in Detroit. Everything's like way
Everything's
decrepit.
like rotting and stuff.
Mhm.
I will ask though, I didn't understand their plan when they went to that pool. Oh, let's like trap her in a pool and then let's throw electronics at it. I didn't get that.
Okay.
I need that
They're
explained.
trying to figure out how to kill it, right?
I guess, but they're gonna electrocute her in the process.
They could.
I was like, this
You
is
know,
a
they're
dumb plan.
teenagers. So they got to figure it out, or young 20s. I don't really know how old they are, but yeah.
I think the kids that are younger are probably like 16, 17. I think she's probably like 19. Like she's in college, so she's got to be like a freshman or something.
Oh, that's right. She
So
was in like
she's-
a junior college of sorts.
Yeah, she's like old enough to still hang out with them and it not be
Mhm.
weird, but young enough to where she's as dumb as they are and want to throw electronics in a pool and think that that's a
Yeah.
good plan. I didn't get that.
I don't know.
I
I don't know.
I need someone to tell me.
Someone needs to tell us.
Yeah.
But It Follows. I would love to have a sequel to It Follows.
That would be great.
It
I
would be
love
great.
to see, but none of the same people. I don't want to
No.
be connected to that at all. It needs to be a totally different city, a different time.
I mean,
Like-
unless it started with the ending, like I said, and went to my area.
I say
then yes,
I want to
then
see the
I'd go with
beginning, and it's a period piece costume drama set in the 1800s.
It's where it started.
Yes, absolutely. It's set. It's
The
set
origin
during the
story.
times of Jack the Ripper. Oh my God! What if the STD ghost is like the spirit of Jack the Ripper, and he's coming back to get revenge on all these prostitutes that gave him
Revenge?
syphilis?
Oh,
That's why he did the murders. That's what everyone
I
thinks.
see.
That's why he cuts off the noses, because syphilis makes your nose rot off. Don't.
You've researched this.
Oh,
quite
I
a bit.
spent an entire evening reading about syphilis online and its effects. That's where sunglasses came from. Because people. Anyway, we can't get into that. That's a 30-minute conversation. That's a lot. That's actually a lot there.
What's
yeah.
another one on your list? Do you have another one?
Okay, I've got another one. My last one that I haven't talked about, the other two you talked about, is gonna be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay, yes.
I love this movie because it is a very genuine and real ending to a love story. And it's one of my favorite
Mhm.
conclusions to a relationship that we have seen on screen, which is okay, we're not perfect. I'm going to get bored with you and I'm going to get, frustrated with you. And maybe, okay, we don't want to die alone. All right, we'll be together. Very depressing, but also very real.
Very real.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are plenty of people that are together because they just don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
I was talking about this the other day, and I don't know why this comes up right now, but for some reason, I don't know where I read this or saw this, but they said the happiest people in the world are married men and single women. And then there was one
Interesting.
comment right below that said that's why they work so well together. And I
True.
was like, "Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh
dang.
dear."
Oh, dang. Deep pulls, deep cuts, you guys.
Anyways, just thought
Yeah.
that was interesting.
And I,
Kind
I
of goes
love
with
that the
relationships.
movie kind of works backwards and forwards and plays with the typical story elements and time frame.
Mhm.
And the ending is basically the beginning, kind of. And yeah, I really liked how it all connected. It's one of my favorite movies. If you haven't seen Eternal
Mhm.
Sunshine, watch it right now because it's amazing. I think it's still on Netflix.
It is amazing.
Hmm.
Let's talk about Inception for a second.
Okay.
This will be a spoiler for sure of Inception.
Watch
So you
Inception,
can
you
come
guys.
back in like 5 minutes and we'll be done with this.
It's been like
But
8 years.
wanted to let you know that right now. Here's my problem with Inception, although it's not a problem, but it is a problem when you realize that it doesn't matter if the spinning top continues to spin or doesn't because it's not his totem.
It's her
So
totem.
it's her totem, and we all know that totems only work for the person they are intended for. So,
So
what
he
is
did.
his
Yeah,
totem?
what was his own totem? Because that was hers. What was his
I
when they were
don't
still
know.
together and she was still
Do
alive?
we ever know?
I don't
That's the
know.
question. Do we ever know his totem?
That
If we
is the
do,
point of it
let me
all.
know. Um, so therefore, everything I feel like he's just in the hole. The whole thing is him in the hole. He's never out of it.
He's never
In the
been out of
sunken
it.
place, whatever you call it,
We're all in the hole,
Mhm.
Brienne.
We are.
We're
We are.
all just trying to dig ourselves out of our own memories and
Mhm.
past and baggage, and we'll never get out of it. Oh,
So
that's a depressing
that's all I
thought.
have to say about
And let's end
Inception.
our
I
show
love
on
it
that. I'm
though.
just
I
kidding.
love it.
That's
I
great.
everyone was on
Great.
edge in the theater that I was in. It
Yeah.
was like but then like later you think about it and you're like Randall
Mm,
says I don't think he shows us his totem. I don't think he does either. I
no,
don't.
he
I don't
probably
think we know
didn't.
it.
He didn't have a totem, and that's why they were never able to get out of that thing, out of the layers of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, and
Yeah.
I think I just am there's a reason that he doesn't have a totem, I'm sure, because they were like, "Well, he can't have a totem
Yeah.
because that will ruin it for everyone if he does.
Mhm.
We have to keep this illusion of the spinning top alive."
And they want it to wobble a little bit, but not fall. So then you're like,
Mhm.
they
Exactly.
want that reaction.
Exactly.
This is
Maybe
filmmaking,
his wife
guys.
is his totem. I thought it couldn't be a person. It had to be like a oh, his ring. I thought that too. Ben agreed. I feel like it was his ring, right? I don't know.
I can't
Guys.
remember
Anyways,
this movie.
I have to go back and watch it. It's been some time since I've seen Inception. Any others that you'd like to discuss?
Those were all the ones on my list, and you
Okay.
had two of mine. So
I have a
yeah,
few more some
okay,
good
go.
feel good movies like It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh,
It's a Wonderful Life
mhm.
is a wonderful life. I want to know when the right time to show my kids this movie is. First of all, will they be able to sit for long enough? Second of all, it deals with some very serious problems at the very beginning of him, contemplating ending his life.
Mhm.
And I just don't know if they'd be ready for that heaviness.
Yeah.
And so I don't know when would be appropriate. Maybe fourth or fifth grade, I guess,
Mm.
might be when they could comprehend what that means. And then him going through his life and seeing that it actually is a good life. um, I just love the ending to this because I feel like I like happy endings,
Mm.
and I feel like this is one of the ultimate happy endings.
Mm.
Yeah, Mr. Potter does suck and gets away with his crime, but I like to think that maybe he doesn't later after Christmas,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
It's got that New Year's January slump that's gonna happen.
I think as a kid you don't think of the suicide part. I think you're right, Ben, because I feel like depending on how old you are, my mom let me see Dirty Dancing when I was like in first or second grade. And
Oh.
my sister was upset about that because I was at a friend's house and they asked if I could watch it. And my mom said yes. And my sister said, how come she gets to watch it and I don't? And my mom said, because she's not going to understand what's happening and you are. And
Yeah.
that's why you can't watch it. And I was like,
Abortion, guys. We're talking about abortion.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I totally did not know that. When I watched it later in high school, I was like, I had no idea
Oh.
that this was happening. Whoa, this is a lot darker than I thought.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Kids don't pick up on certain heavy material.
Mm-hmm.
Just by saying the name of the next movie, I feel like it spoils it. So maybe I shouldn't. I'm gonna show it to you.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't see that movie.
Okay.
Wait, there's an ending? Or what?
Okay, so the movie The Impossible has a really good ending to it. And so I feel like by saying that, that's a spoiler because The Impossible is like, I don't know how I got on to actually watching this movie because I knew it was going to be heavy. It's about the
Naomi Watts, yeah?
yeah, the
Ewan McGregor.
tsunami, and they're on vacation and they get separated. They're separated in the tsunami, and it's just about like, where are my kids and who's going to like take care of them. Like that is a very scary thing, especially for a parent, like to think about what people are going through and being separated from their family in a huge tragic event. And just you don't know who's out there, who's going to be with your kids and who's going to try to get them to find you. Like, are there good people out there that are going to help you in your time of need if you are completely, unable to help yourself? And I think there's a lot about that says about like humanity and coming together when there's a big tragic event. And you do kind of see like the people that take advantage of it too. But I think that the good people outweigh those people. And so I feel like The Impossible is a really hard watch, but I'm glad that I watched it, and knowing that it's based on a true story is even.
Oh yeah, Tom Holland is in it.
Yeah, I think that's his. I want to say that's his first film, but I'm not positive about that. So don't get upset at me. I have a few more real quick.
Okay.
Erin Brockovich. I love. Her in her office, and she's kind of yelling at him. And then it's like, she gets this letter, and you're like, ooh, what's in the letter?
Oh,
and then it's just like, man, Erin Brockovich. But it's just a nice story about the David and Goliath of the world, and being a true story had me really appreciating that there was someone out there to fight for someone like us.
Yeah.
That was just gonna fight for other people.
Yeah.
And didn't even know that's what she was getting into, and then was like, hey, I got to do what's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, there you have it.
She's a strong woman.
She is a strong woman. I appreciate that Julia Roberts won an Oscar for this.
That was great.
I feel like that was well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Hey, Rachel, thanks for showing up. Good to see you. I also want to mention Back to the Future 2, which I don't like as much as the other movies, but I do appreciate the ending. So here it is. Here comes the ending, because we're gonna talk about it. But I feel like one part is that so they have the overlap where he's back in 1955, right? But the part of him that came from 1985, the original one, is leaving. So that guy's gone. He's off. And then here comes the future guy who's running up the street and is like, I'm back from the future. I just came back from the future.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, poor Doc is probably going to be
He's
like,
probably like,
what?
I can't
I
calculate,
just sent you away.
Cannot compute what's going on. This movie, there's a moment in Paranormal Activity 2 where the the like boyfriend, the mom's boyfriend, and his little camera assistant guy are talking about Back to the Future, and they're discussing it, and it made me laugh because it's just like how we talk about Back to the Future. We're like, okay, but you're not going to the past, so you're going past to the future, you're going back to the present. So and all this, and it was how it's like how we converse about films, and I love when movies do that, when they like reference other movies, and you're like, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do love when movies are referenced in other movies.
Yeah. Because you're like,
it just feels like we're, oh, you're us.
Yeah.
You're us.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. And the final one I want to talk about is Groundhog Day. Because Groundhog Day is great. And it's just like, is this ever going to end? And you have this moment where you're like, oh, well, hey, that worked out nice.
Yeah.
That worked out well. I liked it.
Puxatawny Phil.
I mean, being stuck in that purgatory for probably 4-ish years would be, hopefully it's worth it at the end when it finally is like, okay, hey, all right. I don't know. I feel like that would be a certain kind of hell, to be stuck in a day.
Yeah.
For forever. Do you in chat have a favorite ending that you want to mention? You can throw it in the comments and maybe we'll say a little something about it. Fight Club has been mentioned, not by us, but by you in the chat. Fight Club, man. So many reveals towards the end of that movie that I was not necessarily ready for. And I really do appreciate it. I feel like it's a movie that I need to go back and watch and think about it, already knowing the ending. I don't know if I've watched it a second time fully through. I don't know. I may have just watched it once.
I think I've seen it a bunch of times, actually. I mean, at least 10, like at least 10 times.
The first time I ever did a double feature at a movie theater was seeing Fight Club and American Beauty back to back.
Wow.
And that was an intense day. Intense day.
Good
7,
day.
Shawshank Redemption, Ex Machina, Ace Ventura. I can't really think about what the ending of that is.
I forgot the ending.
The Cutting
of Ace
Edge.
Ventura.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams, Truman Show.
Great.
Truman Show. Oh, dang it.
That is a great one.
That's a great ending.
Great one. Field of Dreams. Toy Story 3. Yes, I like, out of all the Toy Stories, I thought that had the best ending for sure. Heathers is intense. It's intense. So that's it, guys. Goodfellas I just rewatched, and I hadn't seen it in maybe over 10 or 15 years, I would say. And I was like, I feel like I'm watching this movie for the first time. You know how like you forget certain things, like you remember certain parts, but then you forget other parts. And I was like, I really appreciate this movie. Yeah. Primal Fear. Yes.
Good.
Old Boy. I haven't seen Old Boy.
I've only seen the Josh Brolin one, and it really disturbed me. And I was like, I don't like this at all. It wasn't like I like being disturbed in movies, but I don't like being uncomfortable to the point where I want to throw up. A lot of incestuous stuff in it. I didn't like it at all. Gross.
I get it.
Yeah.
That happens in the original too.
Oh,
I read about the original as well.
Okay.
I read about it way long ago. Ladies and gentlemen, that closes up our show. Let's go over the ones we did talk about, just so we kind of have a little list here. I talked about Thoroughbreds, The Usual Suspects, The Sixth Sense, Prisoners, Inception, It Follows, It's a Wonderful Life, The Impossible, Aaron Brockovich, Back to the Future 2, and Groundhog Day we touched on.
We also touched on, oh my gosh, my battery ran low. Shit. The Breakfast Club, Pride and Prejudice, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then some other ones you also talked about too.
Nice.
So,
that is it. Stacy.
Batter up.
Hear that call. The time has come for one and all to play ball.
That had nothing to do with endings, but I just wanted to sing it anyway.
That's how we're ending this show right now.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Stardust, Snapchat, everything at Stacey O Howard. No E, no I, just Y. Where can we find you?
That's right. You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies, Instagram Miss_Movies. I am on Stardust. I think I'm just Miss Movies there, but I haven't used it.
You need to post. It's really fun.
Okay.
Just
I'll start doing that more.
Yeah. We'll do it together.
But yeah, 3 months, guys. We'll see you in July, and we'll have something new. We'll have something new coming up. We also have to talk about Comic-Con. We're gonna probably be doing that.
Yeah. We're
So
gonna go.
hotels are going on sale soon. We gotta talk about that.
Oh God, I don't have
All that
money
good
for
stuff.
hotels.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining us for the last time. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.